Hey, so today we are going to be talking about market research, but first we didn't get a chance to upload our last video, our introductory video, so we're going to introduce ourselves again. My name is Tarina Taylor. I am a entrepreneur just trying to help other businesses leverage digital marketing in a way that's lucrative for their businesses. I'm a funnel hacker. I believe in sales funnels. I do have a website, but I want to help people know the power of funnels and how important they are to make more revenue for your business.
I'm Dawn Kennedy. I currently am the owner of the Cultivate Studio, which is an ideal workspace for creatives. I also work a 9-to-5, so I'm not a full-time entrepreneur. And here I teach sewing classes, but I am also reaching out to other creatives so that they can possibly use the space to teach whatever their niche is.
Okay, so right now I am currently participating in a 30-day challenge that is sponsored by ClickFunnels. It's called the One Funnel Away Challenge. And I'm learning a whole lot that I didn't even know. And I really wanted to help other entrepreneurs to see the importance of doing market research before they start or launch their business, because it's an important misstep that we all made when we first started. So for instance, Dawn, when you first opened up your studio, did you ask around, kind of do like a survey to see what type of space that people wanted?
No, definitely didn't.
And I know for when I started, I had taken a couple courses and I learned a lot of things, but I didn't know what the need was in my kind of target market. So it's like you going blindly trying to service people where you don't really know where the people need the service. So I just think that we should learn more about doing a little bit of research before we start our businesses, because if you want people to buy something from you, you have to know what it is that they are willing to buy. Because if you just say, I want to do this, like I know a lot of people, a lot of women that I see in the groups, they are selling hair. And hair to me is so overly saturated right now, the selling of hair. People are getting it's shipped from India and all these different places, and it might be good quality, and that's not the problem. But the problem is that they're not doing the research to see what people need, because everybody's selling hair. So what's going to set you apart and make your business different than what everybody else is doing? So what I also learned is also about creating offers for people. So most of the time when we have a service or product that we offering, it's just that one, most of the time, the single service or the single product. But what I've been taught is that what we need to do is kind of think about what the client or the customer is going to need after we provide that service or product. And just think about it ahead of time. Give yourself a little bit of insight on what they will need, and kind of think like 10 steps ahead of what they already going to come up with. And if you do your research, you'll already know, because you'll get kind of like a survey from what other people said, and then you can kind of create a package deal for them, and then they'll have everything they need. So for instance, with Dawn, for instance, what is it here that you want to do with your business?
Well, I'm pretty much in limbo, but I like to teach people the basics of sewing, right? And gradually get them to a point where they feel comfortable sewing on their own. And sometimes, although the process seems like, okay, you start here, you do this, you do that, getting them to the next point is sometimes where the problem lies. So I guess is making sure the next offer is set up and it's enticing enough where they will want to purchase it.
Right. So all the problems that you see, like when you first start, all the problems that you see that you've already encountered, that's where you can improve upon what you would be offering as a service here. So you see that people have a problem with following the next step. So you would have to go back to the customer and ask them, so what is it that you need that I can provide for you? And then now you know going forward the next things that people will need in order for them to move forward without getting on your nerves. Because that's how it is. If people will bother you, and then they want refunds, and then they want, oh, I need this and I need that. So that's what we kind of gotta take that 10 step ahead of them, kind of do that research first to figure out what it is that they're going to be needing, and know what they need before they even know what they need, and then provide it already, and then say, yeah, well, you said I know you probably going to need this next, so let me offer that in the whole package deal.
So, but what I have also learned in this process is that a lot of times the place where I'm going in the beginning is not the actual steps that I need to take in order to please my customer. So for instance, when I started with the sewing the clutch class, the fold over clutch, so I was going to start with, that's their introduction. That's seeing the fun of it, seeing them come out with an actual product. Okay, I can do this. But the next class was the basics again. Hey, let's learn to actually use this machine. What are these stitches for? What is this? How making sure I really know how to thread this machine, different threads, making sure I know how to cut out a pattern, teaching them those steps to continue the process. But what I've learned is that I believe a lot of people, I'm going to say here in this community, or just like in Baltimore, they kind of like more of the fun part of it.
Right.
So the sip and sew was fun. It was a time to hang out with their homegirls, a place we can go, a safe place, but we're still having something in the end. We can have a little bit of wine and enjoy ourselves. So realizing that's when I started going down the path of reaching out to other creatives and saying, hey, how about, that's wonderful skill that you have. How about showing it to others? How about doing a make and take class so that you're showing your skills, people get to know who you are, and then they are excited about the item that they're making and taking. And so people tend to lose interest in certain creative spaces, including myself. So I think that's why I started redirecting it another way, like, hey, it's a lot of different creatives out here that could come and teach their classes, and because I feel like if you have that gift, then you should share it, right? So that's your way of sharing it, but still making a business out of it, and still being able to pull people from all over and continue different things, different creative things.
Have you ever you have an email list, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you ever try to maybe make up a little form and then send it out to your email list and see what it is they enjoy, see what they didn't enjoy, and see what you can improve upon?
I do the what didn't you enjoy, what can I improve upon, certain things like that. And actually that's what drove me to get a different space. Now I didn't ask them what kind of space, but they were saying the space I had used before was a little tight and they just needed more room. And so this space here provides a lot more room when I'm teaching. But I never asked them, hey, what do you want to see next? Hey, no, I did ask what do they want to see next. And I put those classes out there, but reality is because I didn't do my market research on location or Baltimore City or, how they like to spend money, they might say they want to do those classes, but they don't want to pay for those classes. And that's just reality.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I was taught too. When we looking for our target market and our niche, we have to make sure that it is a profitable niche.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people that we going after that we think since we have a background in that space and we know that we more familiar with it, even though that's the case a lot of times, they don't want to pay for it. It's not profitable for us, and that's the point of us having a business. We're not doing it for the fun. We're doing it to help people, yes, and we are doing it for fun too. But in the long run, it's for us to make money. Mm-hmm. That's what a business is for. And so we got to make sure that our target is profitable, like we can make money from, that these people are willing to spend money where we want them to spend money.
Right.
And that's another big thing. That's why my target market is the beauty industry. I'm kind of expanding it to entrepreneurs in general. But I know in the beauty industry, I just recently went to a braid shop actually called me and asked for my help. Mm-hmm. And I went in and I provided just a little bit of, help along with, what I was saying, what I was doing. And I told her what my price was. And this is actually discounted from what I really want to charge. But I'm still trying to get my foot in the door. So I just wanted to put my price down so I could get my foot in the door. And she said that it was a little expensive. But when you think about a braiding shop, how much money they make in one day?
Right.
I mean, what you think they can make in one day? You like tops?
Tops?
Tops.
Well, first, I know in a braiding shop, nothing is under $80.
That's my point. Right.
Nothing is under $80, and at least if you see 10 people, you already made $800.
Right.
At that moment, and most people aren't just going to be $80. Some people are $250.
Right.
You know. So.
And so what I was telling her that I would charge $650 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Oh, well, that's a little high." Well, I'm not discounting from that.
Right.
Because all the things that I'm providing for you, all the services that I would be willing to do to help you get more business. In the long run, I'm helping you get more business.
Mm-hmm.
So you would be getting more revenue. So that would actually help you to get more business, and that would bring in more revenue. But I know they can make $650 in one day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see how $650 a month would be hard for them to manage. Especially since she said that they were also going to be adding on different locations, and she might wanted me to manage that as well. So I was just like, oh, okay. So I she said, write up a contract. I went home, write up a nice contract, put all my good stuff in there, and sent it an email. Never got nothing back. So that's not a discouragement to me. That's just keeping me moving forward.
Right.
I actually shot my shot with somebody that's like, I did a blog post last week on Marquetta Breslin. And I asked her if she needed help, with my services. And at the time she said no, but that's not bad either, because I got to get in her little circle. She knows who I am. And then also somebody else just asked for my help, and I told them my price, and they also didn't reply yet. But, I'm still moving forward.
Right.
I'm not going to be discouraged. Right.
You can't at this point.
Right, exactly.
You got to keep moving.
Got to keep moving forward. So a little bit discouragement. It's just... the discomfort is what pushes you forward. When you're uncomfortable, that's what moves you to change things. I think so.
And I've been learning more of, so at this point, well, in the beginning, I was more of a physical, I have to be there in order for my business to run, right? Because I have to teach classes, I had to do things like that. So I'm starting to reroute it, and I read the book Influencer by Brittany Hennessy, which is an amazing book. So if you're trying to be a social media influencer, I suggest you listen to that first. But I started rerouting my way that way, because even though maybe in Baltimore learning to sew is not the thing, because we have a lot of seamstress and amazing artists for that point of view, but online it's a different community, right? It's more of a supportive community where we back each other up and we give each other inspiration. So I'm thinking of going more towards that influencer life, which has taken me some time, because that means that I'll have to have a different social media presence. I have to be there more. I'll have to put a lot more work into my pictures and everything like that. But I'm thinking about going that way, because that's a different point of view that you're grasping. You're not just saying, hey, these are the people that can actually physically make it to my space, and not closing it to those people. So I'm trying to open it up to the rest of the world, because a lot of times if they see me using my my fabric weights, a lot of people are like, hey, where did you get those from? Those are amazing. And then they go right on the site and buy them, right? Well, that was a missed opportunity for me, that I could have made money off of that. Right. So I'm saying to myself, like, well, man, I show a lot of different things that people are like, oh, I like that. Where you get that from? Well, how did you do it? I should tap more into that. So it's just a different space online, and you can also do market research on that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, online
for that.
definitely.
So I follow a lot of communities, and I guess that goes with the whole hashtag, and that gets you into those certain communities and gets you noticed. So I realized that me being more transparent gets me more information.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
It definitely does.
So that's where I'm going towards this, and realizing that, if I focus more on that and being transparent to my actual community that's outside of them coming into this building, then I think I would be able to reach more people, and I would enjoy it a lot more and still be able to stay in my niche.
Yeah, that's my message too. Like what you're saying, we pretty much we are in the business of trading our time for money. And I want to kind of move. I mean, I want to be in that space for right now, but the goal is to move out of that space and create passive income. Because as a former beauty industry professional, you are in a salon all day on your feet, and that's where I was trying to get away from. And I'm not on my feet, not saying that, but I'm still exchanging my time for money. So in the case that I have, when I eventually get clients, I'm going to be working on their businesses, and I'm still going to have to be working on their businesses.
Right.
But the point, what I'm trying to get to is trying to help other people to also see what you were saying. If you recommending a product that you are affiliate for, then you getting paid to promote that product.
Right.
That's what I want people to be more aware and cognizant of, because you can still be getting paid without doing all the hard work. It's like the work smarter, not harder. And that's what I'm trying to, that message that I'm trying to get out there to beauty industry professionals, because they be working hard. I mean, everybody has their own niche at the end of this hard work, and that they got to be out there. Because my husband work hard, he a truck driver. But the beauty industry is what I'm familiar with, and I know that it's a lucrative niche because they got the money to pay for what I'm trying to offer. And also, they work hard, and I just want to help them leverage the fact that they can do things that are lucrative without doing a lot of work to get the money.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Yeah, because, I mean, and then this now, like, everybody, you know, got a side hustle, because everybody has to have a side hustle. It's not like just one job is making it anymore for anybody, especially living in Maryland. It's the cost of living is high. And so we got to think about ways that we can get a side hustle where we not, you know, taking away from the time with our children or from our families, that we can still be getting paid without putting all that extra hard back-breaking work in. I mean, I just think that's a smart idea. For me, I thought it was a smart idea. So that's why I got into the affiliate marketing and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Me, I'm just tired.
Yeah, I know. You already have a job.
Yeah, I just don't have any energy, but I am slowly but surely working on a schedule, trying to see where things are going, reaching out to people.
Yeah, reaching out to people is definitely a big thing that you have to do. And
it's a little fearful. I am an extrovert. Yes, I am. I talk to everybody. But to reach out to somebody that you don't know and say, hey, what do you think about doing this? What happens is fearful. They become fearful. So their fears kind of rest on your shoulders because you kind of went to them with this information. So that's where I am, and I definitely am going to work on doing market research on my next venture. And it could be in the same niche that I am in doing, like sewing or being creative. I'm definitely going to work on my marketing and reaching out like, hey, what do you guys want to see? What are you guys going to pay for? But I will say this, I have learned that just because people won't pay your $35 to come to your class does not mean that somebody won't pay that amount.
True that.
Okay. It's not important enough for them to pay $35. But for somebody else, it's important enough to pay $100 to come see you. So, like you said, you're not giving up, even though people have said discouraged. You know, you felt discouraged.
It's people that's willing to pay the price.
Yeah, it's willing. You just haven't tapped into those spaces yet.
Right.
But it's coming. So that's where I am right now. Being that I have a job right now, and the truth is I don't have the hustle right now. So if I had the hustle, believe me, everything will be on and popping. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I don't have that thrill and that hustle in me at this very moment. But it's coming. I feel it. Like I feel it coming. It's building up. It's building up. It's as though I'm going to reach out to.
Yeah, but you really need to be reaching out to like influencers, like, because I know you follow a lot of the influencers, and you could just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm trying to do this, this, and this. If you can give me like a little shout out, a lot of the times you can pay a couple bucks to get a shout out,
right?
And that'll take you into their audience.
And I actually reached out to a lady. She has a podcast. It's called A Coffee for makers, and she just started. It's an amazing podcast. So I went back and I researched her because I was like, well, wait a minute, let me see what else she does. So she actually sews. She travels sometime and teach different sewing classes, but the way she teaches them is off of the patterns that she made. And I know that's one of my goals, is to create digital patterns and let them sell. So when you were talking about passive income, that would be my income. But once again, I got to do a lot of work in the forefront.
That's
right?
the thing about passive income. You got to do that forefront work in the beginning.
Exactly.
So it's like you work
and
the
I
whole
already
hustle,
told y'all
hustle,
that my hustle
and then
is a little quiet right
come
now.
through like that, and it's the initial hustle.
Right. So my hustle is a little tired right now, but I do know that is one of the goals I want to do. So I reached right out to her and said, hey, how did you learn how to make your own patterns online? And she was so nice. She came right back to me because I told her I complimented on her podcast and told her it was amazing and I really enjoyed it. And she was saying how, I use this book and I use this. It's a workshop online, and I had purchased that workshop, so I was actually learning that same workshop, which I thought was really good. So seeing her being able to produce patterns, and then I started researching that workshop that I had already paid for anyway, and I saw a lot of other people who were creating patterns. They were saying how easy it was if you just continue to go through the training. Right. So then I went and bought the book that she told me, and I was reading the book, and I'm like, oh wow. So I know that is definitely my direction, is creating my own patterns and learning from, like, so right now I'm sewing a pattern from Mimi G, and she takes her patterns through simplicity. Mm-hmm. The some of the wording on there is a little tricky for me, so I know that for new sewists, it's very important with the wording and teaching them how to sew, right? We're being able to read a pattern. So this is the stuff I'm taking in as I'm learning. Like, I'm like, when she did this, because I'm a left-handed person, a lot of time I think totally different. So I always have to reteach myself whatever somebody just taught me, right? So I can understand it. So I was looking at the pattern, I'm like, oh man, the wording on this is just like, I know what I'm supposed to do, so I do it. But for everybody else, it's not as easy. So I was learning that and being able to reach out to her, and she's like, let me know if you need anything else. And then there's another influencer, I'm not going to say she just came out, because actually she's been doing it for a while. She was under a different name. But she just started getting bigger. And I'm so proud of her, Tabitha Sewer. She is a really good, transparent person who sews. And she actually had a campaign going on one time talking about sewing heels, which she does. And she uses it that way. So that's one. I was looking at those types of influences and the different sponsored things that they do. And I've been learning from them also. So looking at the people and how they comment on her information. She also started another thing called Sewing Bloggers, where she comes out with tips every Tuesday, and then she helps us get notified. So when I'm ready, I can email her and say, hey, can I be on the blog? Right. And that'll open me up to more people.
Yeah. And that also is another thing that I'm also learning is telling your story. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, think about it. When we are entertained by a movie or something, we watch the movie because of the story. We feel a type of way because of the story. So most of the people that you follow, you know their story, so you follow them because you have some type of connection with them from their story. So when you go approach these people, just tell them your story.
Right. And and that's a big thing, like you said, it's how you tell your story.
It's definitely how you tell
your story. So as
an
influencer, how you tell your story. And it's funny because all this time I sit here and I'm like, I don't really have a story.
We all got stories.
I mean, clearly one day I must have been having a breakdown. And I thought about all the things that I had been through. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, I do have a story. It's all about the way I tell it. And as influencers, as long as you know how to tell your story, you can make money.
Yep.
And you can make money with any story. You can go on public speaking engagements. That's one of my goals, is to eventually be a motivational speaker. Well, we know you. I want to be a motivational speaker to the younger crowd. To those who may have been single moms, those who are stepmoms, those who are joining families together, those who are working, those who are creative, those who seem like they got ADHD, all of those type things. I want to be. That's my other thing. Like my next goal is to be a motivational speaker after I get the pattern thing under locks. So yeah, I want to be able to tell my story in a way where it connects with people.
Well, when you get there, I want you to be charging for them to come, for you to go out and speak.
Oh yeah.
I want you high ticket speak. I don't want you like you got to reserve my books to get to come.
Right,
to come
right. That's where I want to get.
Which
means I still got to put in a lot of work. Yeah, mine stop. But I got to put in a lot of work in order to get that done. So I mean, I'm willing to. I'm just tired right now, but I'm getting my energy back up.
Yep.
But it was something else I wanted to say about that whole thing, but I forgot. So,
well, that's pretty much it. I definitely want to. I got a script that I can give you for telling your story.
Okay.
It's a kind of like a systematic how you write it out, so you can tell it the good way.
Yeah.
And that's how you get it to be effective. So when you go tell it out to the larger numbers, it affects them. Yeah. Because like you said, you can connect with so many different audiences. You got the single mom, you got the stepmom, you got the family merging, you got all those audiences that you can reach with your story. So you have a big audience because it's a whole bunch of single mothers. I mean, that's alone right there. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So I guess we'll be seeing y'all next week.
And thank you for tuning in, guys.
Bye.